is happening, Magnus? That's ABC exclusive. Kamala Harris interview. First interview solo. Dolo, baby. Let's check this out.
All good? Okay. Okay, wonderful. Good. Awesome. Madam Vice President, pleasure to meet you. Thanks for your time today. Our audience appreciates your time as well.
Of course.
As you know, we're sitting here in a state and arguably in front of an audience that 54 days from now could decide the outcome of this presidential election.
Yeah.
You hear it more than I do. People want to know more about you and about your specific plans. At the debate the other night, you talked about creating an opportunity economy. I wonder if we can drill down on that a little bit. When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard. She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager. I grew up in a community of hardworking people, construction.
Or her parents separated? Because I know they talk about her dad and stuff. They talk about her lineage. I guess they weren't together at the time.
Workers and nurses and teachers, and I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, but a lot of people will relate to this. I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn. And I was raised to believe and to know that all people deserve dignity. And that we as Americans have a beautiful character. We have ambitions and aspirations and dreams, but not everyone necessarily has access to the resources that can help them fuel those dreams and ambitions. So when I talk about building an opportunity economy, it is very much with the mind of investing in the ambitions and aspirations and the incredible work ethic of the American people, and creating opportunity for people, for example, to start a small business. My mother, worked long hours, and our neighbor helped raise us. We used to call her, I still call her, our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love our small business owners. I learned who they are from my childhood, and she was a community leader. She hired locally. She mentored.
Remember, I told you I did sales for a very long time, so it's funny to me every time I see certain sales tactics being used. Trump does it too, but the way she does it, she seems greener. She's newer to it. Like she's still learning some of her sales jargon and how to fit it in and use it in conversation. It's a very popular one to use, one that is, hey, I know about this too. Hey, I'm like you. I grew up here. Hey, you know what I mean? Like I know what's going on here.
Our small businesses are so much a part of the fabric of our communities, not to mention
that they are
the backbone of America's economy.
Very true.
So my opportunity economy plan includes giving startups a $50,000 tax deduction to start their small business. It used to be $5,000. Nobody can start a small business with $5,000.
I like that.
But investing in people's innovative ideas and giving them the ability to go for it.
If she wins, I'm going to start a new one just in case. Just cause. Give me my $50,000 credit.
Opportunity economy means, look, we don't have enough housing in America. We have a housing supply shortage. And what that means, in particular for so many younger Americans, the American dream is elusive. It's just actually not attainable. So part of my plan is to work...
From what I understand, one of the major reasons why it is unattainable right now is not just because of inflation, but so many have gone through the college machine, and it's the new mortgage. Like college loans, the student loans are like the new mortgage. Like I know some students, and they're just like, yo, man, like, I gotta have roommates right now with how I'm living, or I gotta live with my parents. Like, that's it. I gotta have roommates, or I gotta live with my parents. Weren't they working on something with forgiving student loans? I know I heard something about that. What happened with that? Someone help me out.
Work with the private sector and housing.
Oh, by the way, I seen a few of y'all jumping on me. You'll never do your own research. Listen, you must be new, because I've been asked to do these political videos because people like my real perspective, because I'm not truly for any side. I may like Trump more for president than Kamala. However, I'm not like, I'm Republican, I'm Democrat. No, I'm not. So people like that, okay? They know that I'm not all day doing political research. So people in the comments help me with stuff from time to time. So there it is. So if I see you complaining, you know it's going to happen.
Developers to give them a tax credit, to be able to partner with us as the government to build, and my goal is 3 million new homes by the end of my first term. In addition, to help people who just want to get their foot in the door, literally, and so giving first-time home
and through the door of a new home with that white picket fence
buyers a $25,000 down payment assistance. To be able to just get in the door, and then they will do the work that they need to do to save and to pay that mortgage and to build wealth for themselves and their family. These are some examples of what I mean when I talk about an opportunity economy, and a lot of it has to do with just the community I was raised in and the people that I admired, who work hard, and deserve to have, their dreams fulfilled because they're prepared to work for it.
You talked at the debate and at previous appearances about turning the page on the past, and in fact here today in
Hey, so I got some pushback from people that were like, I forgot what I said. Somebody, yeah. Trump seems like a down home real guy that just has money. That's what he feels like. And people mad at me because I said that, as if like people like to feel that. Like I said, the difference is that people say that she feels like a tryhard. They feel like she's faking it. Like she's not really, I'm from your town, and I cook collard greens. And they feel like it's a show. With him, he's been acting the same for years. He's very relaxed in front of the camera. He's not stuttering. He just seems like a guy that's got a lot of money. We know he's got status. Hell, he's been president. He owns hundreds of buildings, and you know what I mean? Yeah, we know he's the top echelon. He's part of the elite. But the way he carries himself is kind of like a guy with money. And if you meet a lot of guys in the area with money, what you'll realize is that a lot of them, they don't have this holier than thou about them. A lot of them, guys that are millionaires and billionaires, a lot of them did build it themselves, and are pretty down to earth people. I know a few people that are from a very wealthy family, and when I've met all of them, they were all cool. You would have never known unless they told you. So, like I said, I think a lot of people like that about Trump because he seems like a guy you would have a beer with. And, that's about it.
Johnstown, you're talking about a new way forward.
Yeah.
I think some people have a question, given maybe your current role as Vice President of the United States, how different you are from Joe Biden. And so I wonder if there are one or two spots, policy areas or approaches where you would say, I'm a different person.
Well, I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
Someone sent me a link too to something because people are like, yeah, he racist, and they sent it to me. It was like, he's not racist. Look, you know what I mean? Look at this when he was helping Jesse Jackson out with this thing, this program for black people and stuff. So I didn't finish watching. I was actually in the gym, and I heard the first 5 minutes of it. And he's giving a speech and he's talking about his friendship with Jesse and this and that. So, yeah, like I said, I haven't dug that deep into it. I heard about the whole housing thing, but then people are saying that he didn't really deny black families, and I look. You know what? At the end of the day, whether it's her or whether it's him, but it comes down to me, and I think for like most voters, it's like what are they going to do for you? That's what it's coming down to for most voters. It gets personal with people. Is it helping you? Is it helping your family? Is it helping your friends? Is it helping your community? Who is it helping? Because if you like, why would you vote for someone who's going to have a bunch of policies that would not help you at all? Like, it wouldn't make sense. Like, it would actually make sense to switch teams from time to time if it's like, well, yeah, I've been Democrat all my life, but if this is what the Republicans are doing, I'm voting for you. You know what I'm saying? These undecideds. I know some people are just home team to the ridiculousness of it. I would never be that way. I'm going to vote for whoever is going to do the most to better the country, my community, and my life. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense to me. It's like, even if you don't like her or don't like Trump, like if she was doing all this stuff that's like mad helping me and with my moral compass and for the country, then I would say I would vote for her. The same thing for him. That's how I feel about it. You know what I mean? So, whatever.
And, I offer a new generation of leadership. And so, for example, thinking about developing and creating an opportunity economy where it's about investing in areas that really need a lot of work. And maybe focusing on, again, the aspirations and the dreams, but also just recognizing that at this moment in time, some of the stuff we could take for granted years ago, we can't take for granted anymore. For example, another plan that I have that is a new approach is to expand the child tax credit to $6,000 for young families for the first year of their child's life. Because that is obviously a very critical stage of development of a child. And a lot of young parents need the help to buy a car seat or a crib or clothes for their kids. And so my approach is about new ideas, new policies that are directed at the current moment. And also, to be very honest with you, my focus is very much in what we need to do over the next 10, 20 years to catch up to the 21st century around, again, capacity, but also challenges.
Crime and public safety are two major issues, right at the forefront of voters' minds. In Philadelphia as well, where crime is a significant issue. When we talk about crime, the conversation turns to gun safety as well. And I think you actually probably caught a lot of people off guard.
Yo, just look up some of them, like, drugged out people in Philly. Oh, in LA too. I'm like, oh my God, I was going to move there. Like, part of me still wished I'd moved to LA because I'd still be rubbing shoulders with a lot of the people I met over there. I don't know how happy I'd be over there, though. You know what I mean? I'd never move to Philly. Good Lord, man. Like, zombie town. Both of them.
Maybe a bit by surprise in the debate the other night when you mentioned that you are a gun owner. I know you said it in 2019 as well. I want to talk about your values on this issue. When it comes to gun ownership, where do you draw the line in America on gun ownership and gun use?
Well,
Time to take a gun!
like you said, Brian, I am a gun owner, and Tim Walz, my running mate, is also a gun owner. We're not taking anybody's guns away. I support the Second Amendment, and I support reasonable gun safety laws. Part of my approach to this is I was a career prosecutor for most of my career. I have personally prosecuted homicide cases. I have personally looked at autopsies. I have personally seen what assault weapons do to the human body. And so I feel very strongly.
You know what that reminds me of? Remember in Higher Learning when the one supremacist dude was like, he said something, hey, have you done it or something? He was like, I have. So you ever shot a gun before? As a matter of fact, you ever shot a piece of meat? That's what that reminds me of. See what it does to flesh.
That it is consistent with the Second Amendment and your right to own a gun to also say we need an assault weapons ban. They're literally tools of war. They were literally designed to kill a lot of human beings quickly. I say we need universal background checks. The majority of NRA members support that. Why? Because it's just reasonable. You just might want to know before someone can buy a lethal weapon if they've been found by a court to be a danger to themselves or others. You just might want to know.
I'm too old for this shit. I had to do it with the lethal weapon. I got a question. I've never asked you guys this one. What do y'all think about the assault weapon ban? Ooh, what do you think about that? I haven't given much thought to that. You got your right to bear arms. And, I've seen too many people talk about this. It's kind of like, look, if they were to try to take all of them, it's like, look, they take all the guns. The government got all the guns. Then you have no power anymore. So that's a very interesting discussion right there. But I want to know about the whole assault weapon ban. What do you think about that? Because I'm just not sure. I'm just kind of like, well, if it's, I don't know. Because I'm like, well, if you can have you're saying we can have all the other guns except we can't handle assault weapons? I get what you're saying there, but that would still put us at a disadvantage if there was a problem with the government. I can see people saying that. However, if they get into the hands of someone who's a loose cannon, then that's an issue. But if they're doing check on people, then I guess the right people will have the assault weapons and the wrong people won't. But the bad guys will still be able to get them anyway. Help me out here. A lot of y'all more in the gun law than me. Way more in the gun law than me.
Questions, if I might.
Sure.
On the appeal of the man you were running against, as you drove here today, you likely saw a lot of Trump signs. He has an historic appeal in this country. And as you are someone running against him and trying to understand that, I wonder how you distill it. What do you understand his appeal to be? And how do you speak to his voters? Or maybe people who just share his values but are open to something else?
I, based on experience and a lived experience, no. In my heart, I know. In my soul, I know.
By the way, I thought that this interview would have been something about it's echoey and everything, and I thought it would look more like a 2020 interview than the way it does. It looks way more no frills. Like I could have did this interview. You get what I'm saying? I'm wondering why it's not more lights, camera, action, just soft lighting, and you know what I'm talking about. I'm wondering why it doesn't look like that.
I know that the vast majority of us as Americans have so much more in common than what separates us. And I also believe that I am accurate in knowing that most Americans want a leader who brings us together as Americans and not someone who professes to be a leader who is trying to have us point our fingers at each other. I think people are exhausted with that approach, to be honest with you. I think people want a leader who has... Truthfully,
I think both sides, no matter what, always have each other pointing their fingers at each other. It's almost like, how can you not help it? Like, because one side always talks about what they will do for you that the other side won't. And that's always going to make each team point at each other. So
it's common sense and tries to find common ground. I'm supported by over 200 Republicans who worked for both Presidents Bush, John McCain, and Mitt Romney. I'm supported by the former Vice President Dick Cheney, former Congress member Liz Cheney. And I think people are more willing now in light of the hate and division that we see coming out of Donald Trump, to say, hey, let's put country first. And I think that just makes us stronger and more healthy as a country. To say, look, we can all debate our differences around, various policies, but let's stop with the division. Like, enough of that. Let's bring everybody together.
And finally, as you introduce yourself to America in a new way, they've heard much of your story at the Democratic National Convention and in that debate earlier this week. If there's one thing that you wish Americans knew about who Kamala Harris is that you don't think they know yet, what would that be?
I don't know. I mean, probably it's not very different from anybody watching right now. I love my family.
Go
One
back
of my
home.
favorite things that I lately have not been able to do is Sunday family dinner. I love to cook. I have incredible friends. My best friend from kindergarten is still
Right, the face when she said this. I love to cook.
my best friend.
So do I, Kamala.
I think that, I have a career that really, and I said it the other day, as a career prosecutor, I never asked a victim of crime, were they a Republican or a Democrat. The only thing I ever asked them is, are you okay? And I think that's the approach that most Americans want, regardless of who they voted for in the last election, in terms of turning the page and charting the way forward.
I imagine you're looking forward to cooking Sunday dinner again.
I am looking for it. Yes.
Now the mic sounds better.
With the whole family.
What's going on?
The kids each have their role. Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful family, and we thank you for your time. Pleasure meeting you.
Thank you, Brian.
So much.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Wonderful. Thank you, guys.
Get the mic off me. All right. Well, there you have it, folks. Post comments down below. Let me know what you all thought. I gave my thoughts. Help me out in the comments section. Let me know all the details that you feel that I should know. And I will see y'all in the next video. 10 million subscribers. Woo!